Up, y'all? Happy Halloween! Happy Halloween! Detroit Lions took it down on Monday night. Had to play a little Eminem to start the show. All right, thank you for watching. However you're watching, whenever you're watching, as long as you're watching, I appreciate it. Thank you so much. This is another episode of All in Society and Friends. I am Claude Winston, Claude Purchase. Cloud Perch. There's a inside joke about that, inside story. Maybe I'll share it with you guys one day or bring somebody on that's familiar with the story. Um, but my name is Claude. I play poker. I live life. I love poker. I live life. The end. No, I'm a pretty simple guy. If you have never seen my show before, you just stumbled across this. I'm born and raised in Michigan. That's where you see all the Michigan gear. There's nobody. Well, if you are not from Michigan, you're a Detroit Lions fan. Um, God bless you. I can understand now, kind of being a fan, but this is the first time that I feel confident that they're going to go somewhere and do something with the team. So, good luck to them. I don't know if it's going to be this year. There's still some good teams out there. I don't know if they picked up anybody on trade deadline. Actually, we'll talk about that. Peoples Jones, they picked up a wide receiver, and I'll discuss that a little bit further on in the show. But thank you for joining me. We'll get right into it now. Thank you so much for joining. If you want to learn a little bit more about myself, you can check out my website. It is www.allinsociety.com. ALLNSOCIETY.com. Give you a little bit more background on who I am and what I'm about, what's my mission, and my purpose. At least what I want to do with this business, at least. If you want to follow me on my daily activities, you can definitely check me out on Instagram. It's all in CP2, but it's at all underscore NIN underscore CP2 on Instagram. Definitely put my followers up, get my followers up, start liking my stuff. I'm not somebody that's really big on social media. Even on Facebook, I don't have a whole lot of people on there at all. I have a small circle, so doing this is definitely jumping out of my norm, out of my comfort zone. So that's exactly why I'm doing this. Amongst other reasons, amongst other things, I'll be traveling and playing some poker. So I'm gonna take, if you guys can see it, I have podcast equipment with me, my laptop, obviously right over here. You see the microphone, and I have all that here. I'm recording right now, and I plan on taking that with me when I travel. I'm definitely going to Tunica, Mississippi, and you're probably like, why in the world are you going to Tunica, Mississippi? But like I said, I play poker, so I'm going to travel and play some poker there for probably about a month total next year. In January, and in April as well, right around my birthday. My birthday is April 21st. And my family lives in Mississippi, not too far from Tunica, so it'd be great opportunity to spend time with them. I live in Maryland, they live in Mississippi, so it's a great time to spend with them. Hopefully, make some money and win a little bit of jewelry by taking down a tournament, um, by going there and competing. Backstory, real quick. I used to travel and deal cards on the World Series of Poker circuit. In 2015, my buddy David Brackey, who I haven't talked to him in a long time, I'll definitely have to give him a shout. He had rooms in Tunica and at a casino where he was working the next event. We worked an event together in Oklahoma, and then I traveled with him, and he gave me the opportunity to stay with him. I'm pretty sure for free, or I kind of just threw him some money to stay on property, or at least very close vicinity. I don't remember if we were actually on property where the casino, where the event was taking place. But he gave me the opportunity to stay there for cheap, for probably for free. And I just gave him some kickbacks if I did well. And by doing so, I had really no plans in even going there and playing cards. But I said, yeah, sure, if I can, if I can crash with you for cheap, yeah, why not? So I went there and I did really well. And for some reason, the newspaper was there writing a story and took a liking to me and snapped a photo. Um, I think it's the same photo I use in my Instagram handle. So just backstory on that. The photo. Oh, excuse me. I had some Chinese food earlier. I think it's not agreeing with me. But yeah, so I want to go back to Tunica. I want to see if that person who wrote the story, it was just a story about young people um, traveling to the casino, especially probably because Tunica was kind of dying at that time, not what it once was, and now it's probably even more deserted or more, less action, less money running through there than it was before. I don't know. I haven't been there in a while. I haven't heard too much, anything exciting or new coming out of Tunica, Mississippi. Um, but anyways, I want to go back and see if I can find the person who wrote that article or just kind of just rehash that moment and everything about it, and hopefully do better than I did. I did really well there, as far as inve- whatever I put in. I probably made like 10x whatever I invested. But I want to actually win a tournament, a World Series of Poker tournament, and win a World Series of Poker. They give you rings for winning they give you rings for winning circuit events, I think now. So I've been playing poker, World Series of Poker events for a long time, and we'll get into that a little bit further in the episode. But I've been played so much, and I've been so close. I'm just ready to actually do it now, win a tournament now. I don't know why it says on Facebook that my live was ended. I wonder if they ended it because I was playing live music. Oh, I gotta know the rules. I gotta know the rules. Let me check on that real quick. Let's see. Cool, we're working. Or at least on YouTube we are. Alright, so let's get into the meat and potatoes of the show. Alright, today we're going to talk about Apple News, the Vision Pro, and Scary Fast, their event that they just held last night at 8 p.m. Eastern. I'm going to go over my poker recap for the month of October. I have a little information to share as far as what I'm going to be doing next year. It's the first thing I'm really doing outside of the podcast and outside of this live show um, to kick off my business, Suda Solutions Group. The brand and everything is All In Society, but the name of my business is Suda Solutions Group. And I'll provide a little bit more details on that as we go on further in the episode. We'll go over a little bit of sports news that I've seen this past weekend, and especially today with the NFL trade deadline. And then we'll discuss some finances, and we'll discuss the stock market. But before we get into the topics, I definitely wanted to spotlight my podcast that I just released yesterday. Now, if you aren't familiar, if you stumble across this show and you want to find something that's maybe a little bit more easily to consume on the go, I have a podcast. I talk pretty much about the same topics, but I dive a little bit more deeper in kind of in my personal life on the podcast. I almost use it in almost like a daily diary almost sometimes. Kind of get things out, self-reflect, and just kind of give feedback of how I'm doing, especially along my poker journey as what I like to call a semi-professional poker player. I love playing cash games, and I absolutely love competing, playing tournaments. And we'll dive into that further, how you might be able to invest with me. But so this past weekend, I went to the Black Wealth Summit. And if this is your first time hearing from me, I've traveled to quite a few of these financial intelligence or financial literacy events throughout the year. I went to InvestFest past couple years in Atlanta, Georgia, at Georgia World Congress Center. It's put on by Earn Your Leisure. And then this is really not finances, but I also went to the Podcast Summit that was held in Miami, Florida. That was excellent. That really gave me the confidence and the tools in order to kind of to kickstart this show. And then whether the show has, one person, two people, 10 people, 1,000 people, 10,000, a million people watching it, the the ability to kind of go through the process of learning all the information, taking it down, not just taking it down in notes and going on vacation someplace in Miami and soaking up the sun, but the fact that I went to these events, took the notes, implemented them, and now I have something that I can look back on. It feels good that I actually executed, and that's why I continue to do this. Nothing's going to happen overnight. Um, and especially like tonight, right? It's Halloween. Everybody's out and about with their kids, especially right now. So these are definitely nights where it's difficult to really get people to engage. If you can get people like probably Trap's going to have right now at 7 o'clock at night, he probably has at least 1,000, 1,500 people watching him right now on his show. I'm watching him after this, Wall Street Trapper. But the podcast, the Black Wealth Summit was it really. So I went to this event really wanting to get. Also I went to Wall Street Trapper's recession tour, as far as financial intelligence, financial literacy. Really learning the stock market is what he dives into, and explains the stock market in a very easily consumable way for somebody who's novice like me. I like watching CNBC, but they use these jargons and words that you really don't understand. You kind of have to Google as you go to figure out what they're talking about. But watching his show, I can really dissect what's going on and understand what they're talking about. So it's been great. It's been eye opening. Um, so definitely check out his show, Wall Street Trapper, on YouTube. But getting back to the Black Wealth Summit, so I went there expecting to get take some notes and hopefully. All right, let's back it up. I almost didn't go to this event. I've been playing cards, and that's really what I've been holding my head on as far as stacking up some money recently. I'm not working for anybody, and I'm getting my business going on the side amongst doing this as well to to be able to pay ends meet. And the reason why I started my business is to make money, right? Unless you have a nonprofit. So I'm really getting that going, and that's been taking some time figuring out what I want to do and how I'm going to be able to do it, and kind of building a format that's going to be a way that's not doesn't just feel like work, um, but something I truly enjoy and I'm passionate about doing on a daily basis. I think that's what starting a business should be about. Well, number one, it should be helping others, and that's what I'm definitely doing. Well, I hope to be doing at least. Hopefully, get some results. And something I am passionate about and enjoy doing, and enjoy waking up and doing, then it doesn't feel like a job or I'm kind of just in this repetitive motion just to pay ends meet. So something just told me just poker hasn't been going well, so just go to the summit. Just go to the summit. So I go to the Blackwell Summit, and man, it's not only did I get the financial assistance or guidance and knowledge that I was looking for just in that weekend, more so than I've gotten the other events that I've frequent. But this was the best financial literacy event I attended, and it had the best speakers. Governor Westmore was there of Maryland, and he had a great speech. I truly believe if he's able to accomplish everything that he wants to accomplish in the state of Maryland, that he will 100% be a presidential candidate within the next couple of terms, or whatever you want to call it, for lack of a better word, if I'm not saying it correctly. I met Ian Dunlop. If you guys are not familiar with him, he's one of the three members of Market Mondays. I'm always talking about that show. I'm always talking about Earn Your Leisure. If you watched any of my previous shows or listened to the podcast or just know me as a person, an individual, I'm really down with them. And Ian was there. He gave a speech, and then he was gracious enough to stay around and take some questions. So I had to go back and have just one-on-one conversations with him. So that was great. Um, and this event was held at a church, and I found my church. And so I'll leave it at that. If you want to leave, if you want to learn a little bit more and dive a little bit deeper, the podcast really goes right and deep down into it. I get into the nitty gritty. If you really want to know who I am, definitely check out that podcast. And I will absolutely leave links to the podcast and all my information in the description. You guys just have to go over to YouTube, just search All In Society and Friends, and you can find all of that there. You can also go to my website and click any of the links. I'll give you a free gift, and you'll be added to my email list, and I'll definitely reach out and keep you abreast of any products or services that I have coming up. You can also reach out to me via email. It's cpurchase@suitedsolutionsgroup.com. CPURCHES @suitedsolutionsgroup.com, just like it sounds. Suitedsolutionsgroup.com. All right. Apple news for Vision Pro, and we're going to discuss scary fast event that took place last night. So did you guys watch the Apple event, Scary Hours? Well, if you didn't, to be quite honest, unless you're in the market for a MacBook or really care about the new products and services that are coming out, you didn't miss much. It wasn't that eventful. They have a new M3 chip that's coming out, and they have new Macs. They're on the way. I believe they even lowered the price of their entry-level Mac. And for full details of that, I will leave a link in the description. You guys can also, I have this podcast on record. You can also go head over to my podcast. It might be easier for you to go to the podcast. Make sure you follow, make sure you share, make sure you like, make sure you leave a review for me, please. It might be easy for you to click the links from there as well. So definitely check out the podcast. Oh, and one item of note, the entire event was shot on an iPhone 15 Pro Max. So if it was pretty cool. It had a horror theme or a Halloween theme. It wasn't too scary. They want kids to be able to watch it. And then they edited it on with a MacBook, I believe, as well. So if you're interested just to see how it went down, how it looked, definitely check it out. It looked cool. Nothing too crazy or elaborate, but it's at the Apple facility, and so it's this massive facility, and it just looks cool in there. I'm sure some of it was CGI, unless this guy's office or lab looks just like this. That's pretty cool. He has a pretty cool lab if his lab looks just like that. So for Vision Pro, so these are some of the notes that I read in the article, but Vision Pro wants to kind of help with mental health. 1 in 5 U.S. adults and teens ages 13 to 18 who struggle with mental illness, according to the Centers of Disease Control and Prevention. And roughly 1 in 25 U.S. adults struggle with serious mental illness, including bipolar disorder, major depression, or schizophrenia. Hey, Cousin Rita. And the reason why I'm saying that is because the Vision Pro, which is a $3,500 device, it's said to possibly help with some of these illnesses. The headset could be used to measure users' facial expressions, feelings, and emotions, and detect levels of anxiety, depression, post-traumatic stress disorder, and other forms of stress. So if you want to dive into that a little bit further, you can check out the article I got this information from. Is a Forbes article, so it seems like it's probably legit, right? So check it out. All right, moving on to my poker. We're pretty much just going to close out October. I don't really plan on playing tonight. So for the month of October, I made $926. That's for a whole month. That's not good. I'm trying to make $1,000 a week. Um, so it's time to get my tournament game turned around and up to speed for December. Because December, if you're not familiar, if you haven't seen anything as far as any of my previous shows or my podcasts, I'm taking a trip to the Bahamas in December. I think it's December 3rd through the 7th, and I'm going there to play a poker tournament. Most importantly, I'm going there to kind of just lounge and relax, and so hopefully the weather's nice and just everything about the trip is relaxing and enjoyable. But I'm going there to play. I'm pretty sure no, the second largest event that I'm going to play this year. It's a $1,500 poker tournament in the Bahamas. It's a World Series of Poker event. It is the first event that's being held or run or operated by the World Series of Poker at the Bahamas, as far as my knowledge goes. And so I just want to kind of be there for the inaugural event. There's another big event that's going on in Las Vegas. It's a World Poker Tour, and so I could stay in the United States and just go to Vegas, but I've been to Vegas this summer, done that already. I've never been to the Bahamas before. And as far as poker wise, I think there's going to be a much tougher field in Las Vegas. There'll be some more people that just want to kind of relax and have a good time. Now, don't get me wrong, players like Daniel Negreanu will be there in Bahamas and other pros, but I think Bahamas is going to be just more of a laid back, easygoing, your average Joe going there, opposed to the grinders. They're all be going out to Vegas to kind of compete against the best players that will be there. So I'm going by myself. If you are a poker player and you have that time off, I have rooms. It's not at the actual Atlantis casino. It's at I'm using my points at the Holiday Inn like I have at the other places, but it's not one of the. Well, I don't know. I haven't been here before. I shouldn't say that. It was decent stars. It's definitely like not like the Miami hotel that I went to. Miami hotel, the Miami Intercontinental that I went to for the podcast summit. You can go to YouTube and you can see some of the photos that I took. I think I took some photos of the room, um, outside, just inside the hotel. That Miami's a vibe. That was a nice trip. That was a beautiful trip. I will make an excuse to go there every year. And so every year I get a free night with my credit card to go and use a Holiday Inn. I've had some bad experiences. Well, I have had one bad experience probably within the past 10, 12 years I've been traveling, and it was in Atlanta. And so I don't want to just poo-poo on the whole company and everything, but it was pretty rough in Atlanta to the point that I didn't want to travel and stay at Holiday Inns anymore. It's not like they're really high-end hotels in the first place, but there are diamonds in the rough like the Miami Intercontinental that you can stay at. I've also stayed at the Venetian and some of their suites, and so there's some places that it's not just when you think Holiday Inn, you're like, no, I'm not going to staying at the Holiday Inn. There's some nice places, but what I'm trying to say is the rooms in the hotel, the Bahamas, I don't know. It's a little shaky. I've seen mentions of cockroaches and bugs and stuff, but I've also seen people that said that it was great. Experience was wonderful. So it's it's gonna be like my trip. It's gonna be a gamble. It's gonna be a coin flip. So I hope I run good, and I hope I don't have to sleep with any friends that come out when the lights are turned off. So we'll see how that trip goes. Um, and then we'll talk about that a little bit later. Actually, I'm not going to roll into it yet, but these next coming weeks, I'm just going to mention it now in this episode. I have a few people that are, I call them backers, and that's kind of what they're referred to in the poker community. So when you want to go play a poker event and you want to play a bigger event, um, sometimes you want to share the expense in order to buy into the tournament. And the reason why you do that is because you want to maintain what's called. Thank you, I appreciate it. You want to maintain what's called your bankroll. So any poker player who plays seriously, you treat this like a business. And so you have your funds set aside and you use that to play poker. You don't intermingle it like you would your business, any other business, with your personal funds. Your business is separate. Your personal funds are separate from your business funds. And so you treat it like a business and you operate, and you don't want to just, hey, I have $10,000. I want to go play this $5,000 event. I'm going to take my $5,000 that I've been using to play poker and I'm going to enter this event. That's not really smart, right? Just like you would if you're building a stock portfolio, right? You want to diversify. You don't want to just put all your eggs in one basket, right? So you go and you say, who can I partner with and who can share the expenses with me? And I'll give a portion of my proceeds. Now, it's gambling, right? But you go in there and you invest in people. When they're starting their businesses. Some people, they've never started a business before. You see their business plan and you've just kind of seen what they've done in the past, their resume, and you say, yeah, I'll give you some money and I'll invest in you. It's the same thing as poker. Poker is very math based, and it's not. Is there luck involved? Yes, but there's luck involved in betting, and there's luck involved in life. Walk out the door, anything can happen. Nothing's guaranteed that you're going to come back home. Um, but poker, unlike going to the casino and just putting your money all on black, poker you have control, more control than you would putting money in your slot machine like that. So, and a lot of people really put the time to really dissect the game of poker and try to develop and create an optimal strategy. And there's a lot of AI technology out there. I've invested in some training with poker pros that are the top of their game. And to be quite honest with you, I haven't looked into it and read into it as much as I should or I could. It's just really been diving into the business. So all that to say, I'm playing a $1,500 tournament. So I have backers who are going to take a percentage of that, and they're going to put up a portion of the money, and if I win, I give them a portion of my proceed of my winnings based on what percentage of that they bought of me. Their slice of the pie, right? And if I lose, we all lose. So I'm definitely going to be for this one. I'm probably going to be selling at least 50%. It's a large tournament, and because I do plan on playing a heavy load next year, I definitely don't want to go all in on this one. So if anybody's interested, um, again, you guys can hit me up on Instagram. You can hit me up on via my email. Um, there's multiple ways you can get in touch with me. You can say something, leave something in the comments. Just reach out. I definitely will provide a more elaborate. I'll be a better salesman later, and I'll be able to show you my stats, kind of what I've done this year, as far as poker wise. I take a log of everything, and I'll share that with you guys at a later date. But for poker, I'm very in this for my business, Suited Solutions Group LLC. I am very excited to announce my next project that I'll be rolling out next year. We're about to November 1st is tomorrow, right? So I got a couple months to get this thing started. Um, so when I went to the Black Wealth Summit, there was a Dr. Renee Baker, I think was her name, and she has a TEDx talk you can definitely check out, discussing the racial wealth gap. Definitely an interesting watch. And she mentioned she has two girls, and she mentioned one night a week or however often they get together. Family gets together and they just talk about finances, money, budgeting, and things like that. And she says sometimes it's really hard to get them to participate. It's kind of like pulling teeth to do so. So, and I've heard this before from multiple people. Even Carl, previous episode with Carl, I believe is episode 6 or 7, a few episodes back. Carl told me to do the same thing, And then when I went to the bank and opened my bank accounts and everything for the business, the woman that helped me there, she said, "You need to be going out to homes and teaching people this." And I kind of just ran away from the idea because I was so gun ho, and my mindset was so set on getting this podcast started and getting this show started, because that's really what I wanted to do. I want to build a production company, a media company. And I don't mean me getting in front of the TV. That's not, or in front of the screen. That's not my goal is. My goal is to get away from the screen. I don't want to be seen anymore. I want to find you or other people that have stories to tell, or just enjoy being in front of the screen, or a part of the all in society or the community that I'm growing, and they can take it from there. That's not my job. Is not to be doing this for long, because I'm going to be getting very busy, and I have a be traveling a lot, but I'm really going to be doing this for the rest of the probably for the next couple of years. But after that, hope by then I have a new show that's developed with other people that I do not have to get in front of the screen anymore for. Other people doing interviews, and this thing is really kicked off. So that's my hopes and my dreams. But getting back into what I'm planning, and what I plan on doing now, because it is so hard. And talking to my own family, I even discussed, hey, let's get everybody together. Nope, nope, that's not going to work. So no, I'm not taking that for an answer anymore, because there are other families that get together, and when they get together, they're talking about, money and financing, investing. We're not doing it because we don't want to talk about it because it makes us uncomfortable, right? Well, let's get uncomfortable, y'all. It's all right to be uncomfortable, but we know how to talk to each other. We know how to respect each other. Someone has to take the lead in the family and say, hey, we have to move together. We can't just be separate anymore. We have to put all our minds together. We're all are experts, or have knowledge on some industry or field or some interest that the other's not informed on. So let's get that knowledge together. Let's come together and put our money together, and let's invest in something or start a business. So we really gotta just really change our minds. And it's funny, every time I talk about this, it seems like people get a little uncomfortable. So I know I'm going in the right direction. I just got to make it fun, and that's what I plan on doing. So what I'm going to do is I'm gonna go into your home. I'm gonna bring the table. I'm gonna bring the cards. I'm gonna bring the entertainment. I'm gonna bring the fun vibes together. I'm gonna teach you poker, and then we're gonna talk about budgeting. We're gonna talk about investing, and just talking about how we can take our money, instead of just spending our money, how we can pull our money together. Let's first start with saving it. First, we got to hold on to it. First, we need to learn that. And once we have enough to hold on to, then we need to figure out how to make it work. Because if we just have money, it's sitting in the cookie jar or wherever, and it's not collecting any interest or anything. They have accounts that you can put your money online now and get like 5% per year. So it's cool that we have piggy bank for the kids, right? But just leaving that money, those hundreds of dollars in the piggy bank, just collecting dust, that doesn't make any sense anymore. We gotta level up now. Put that in the S&P 500. Wait for the S&P 500 to drop to a low like it is right now. Look, well, we're just talking about this. I'm not saying it's not going to drop any further. We'll see what's going to happen when Apple discusses their earnings on Thursday. If Apple has bad earnings, they're the biggest company in America. That's going to tank the stock market a little bit. I'm not saying it's going to be all heck breaking loose. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying the stock market is probably going to fall a little bit. Or I could be wrong. Maybe just Apple falls a little bit and everything else is good. Who knows? But being it's the biggest company, if they're not making money, okay. So if we get everybody to kind of, let's just level up our level of whatever we're doing. We're doing all right now. Actually, we're not doing all right. We could do a lot better. There's the haves and the have-nots. Middle class, I don't think that exists anymore. It's just the rich, the ultra rich, and then it's just the rest of us feeding for ourselves. So we just all need to get together and just get smarter. There's enough of us. We can all get together, just as like we get together when there's terrible things that happen, like 9/11 or any natural disaster. Everybody comes together and helps one another rebuild. Um, or just helps each other when there's time of need. Well, now is the time of need, and we all need to get together and figure out how we're going to move things forward. Else is gonna otherwise it's gonna get scary. It's gonna get tricky. But so yeah, I'm gonna bring the cards. I'm gonna bring the poker table. I'll bring the chairs. I'll bring everything you need. I'm gonna be your dealer, and I'm going to teach you guys poker. I'm going to teach you 101. And my objective is not to teach mom and dad poker or your kids poker so you can go to the casino and play. That is not the point of this. That is absolutely not the point. The reason why I want to teach you poker is because poker is nothing but investing. You take calculated guesses based on the limited information that you have in front of you, based on how the hand progresses, and you can bet, raise, you can call, raise, or fold. Or if you're first act, you can bet. That is a lot about like investing. You're gathering when you invest. Say you want to buy Apple stock. You go in there. You figure out. Well, first you need to figure out the tools to how to properly dissect a company and figure out if a company makes sense, if it's a good investment at that time. And then when you figure that out, all right, and then you implement your money. All right, it's the same thing you play in poker. All right, I got a pair of aces. Based on how everybody else is playing and the board that's out here. All right, I think I have the best hand. All right, you can bet, do whatever or however the hand plays out, but you're probably going to bet, right, with a pair of aces on whatever board against your opponents. So it's the same thing. So there's a lot of similarities, and so if I teach poker, kind of get that mindset of I see what you're talking about investing, and then we can talk about budgeting, making budgeting. Shut up, Stefan. and, and making budgeting, make that fun. I don't know. You could use kind of like you can use treats. You can use food and like snacks and things like that. Um, as 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 the as the event, well, lack of a better word, as the event goes on. But as the session goes on, I'll ask questions to the kids, and then the kids can, and I'll give them treats, and then we'll just kind of teach them budgeting and things like that. Just make it fun and entertaining for children. Oh, super likes, thank you. And then once I get the children involved in that, right, then you can just figure out other creative ways to. Sorry, I'm trying to look at the chat, and then I'm trying to read my notes too. Once you get the budgeting involved, and or once you get the kids involved in budgeting and just like saving and just talking about money in general, maybe let the kids go on and they can kind of play amongst themselves, and then you really just talk about the real important stuff with the adults. I think that this is just as beneficial for the adults as it is for the kids. And all I really need to do is teach poker. Once I teach poker, I can leave that family. Once they have poker, they can use poker as a reason to get each other together and make it fun however they want to in their own way. And then that just kind of starts the conversation. So I don't know. I'm hoping that that works and that kind of just breaks the ice about having these conversations. Um, and do that enough. The plan is I'll do that enough, get enough interest, and I can get a physical location someplace so I don't have to travel around. But I did this once before, but not in this setting. I did it and I talked about it in one of the previous podcasts. When I worked in a charity poker room in Michigan. I was probably like 21 or 18 to 21 years old, and I was running poker tournaments. I offered a poker tournament in a charity room. It was a free roll. You come in, you can play for free, but there was rebuys, and you would have to pay for additional chips in order to get more chips. This was back in the day. And if you're not playing, you're familiar with poker, you probably won't get this reference, but I'll use it like this. So now, when you play a $100 tournament, they'll give you like 50,000 chips. Well, back then in the day, you play at a $50 tournament, you'll get like 3,500 in chips. So you wouldn't get a lot of chips, and the tournament will go pretty fast. So I would kind of start them off with 1,000 chips, and those are free chips, and then you can purchase like 5,000, 10,000, and it really brought in everybody in to play on Sunday, and then they would come play on the cash games, and it would really just fill the house. And that was really, I think that really got me hooked as far as, or really got my mind working as far as getting into management and just not thinking of just wanting to deal cards for the rest of my life. And I don't want to hit on this too hard, but I'll just ask you this: how many people have you seen retired from being a dealer? It's possible, but I'll just leave it at that. So, getting back to what I was discussing, I'm gonna bring the game to you. It's a game you can play worldwide. You can take it anywhere. There's a casino everywhere, right? I'm not saying that, like I said, I'm not teaching you poker in order to go to the casino and beat the game. Because if you think I can teach you something in a couple hours and you can go to the casino and beat the game, I'm a darn good coach. Um, no, you're just going to get lucky, and then you're going to get a hard lesson later on down the road. Um, But no, I just want to teach the game enough so you guys can go and get your own cards. It's very simple. You can just get cards, and you can get some cheap chips for probably like $10 to $15, $20 at Walmart or online on Amazon, and that's all you need to play poker with your family. And then while you're playing with your family, you can just, while you're playing hands, just talk about money and saving and budgeting. Maybe this is a good time if you don't have allowance, that you can kind of start with a really small allowance for your children, and then they have their own money, and then you really start talking about budgeting and saving. Starting the piggy banks, this would be another good thing as far as that. And then if you do have piggy banks, say if you already have this stuff started, maybe I'll kickstart the conversation of, hey, son or daughter, we're going to put this money into the stock market, and you'd explain to them what the S&P 500 is, because if you're going to put your children's money anywhere, that will put it in the S&P 500, and just let it sit. We can just discuss that further if you want to know why. Even well, S&P 500 would be a good option. Um, to put your money. But we'll do that at a later time in another episode. What are you saying, Stefan? Antarctica? What are you talking about? Alaska. Oh, am I going there? No, this is just for this. I'm just going to the state of Maryland, if that's what you're talking about. Or no, DMV. So I'll be um, DC, Maryland, Virginia. But mostly I will just probably stay in Maryland for the most part. Stick to Charles County first and expand from there. I would love to go to Alaska and Antarctica. If I just think, if I got this big enough and people were like, "Hey, I will pay for you to travel to a different state to come talk to my family," that would be amazing. That would be awesome. This would be a good way to kind of get good at public speaking too. But anyways, oh, and then it'd be also give me a time to do a little story time and share my experience by as a poker player or playing poker. Playing with Daniel Negreanu. If you guys are not familiar with him, it would be like, maybe not to this extent, but be like playing catch with Tom Brady. No, not because you wouldn't be competing with Tom Brady. I don't know. playing Madden against Tom Brady. I was able to play a $10,000 tournament with one of the best poker players in the world, somebody that I followed since I've first started playing poker, and I played hands against him and I beat him. And at least I think two hands I actually beat him in that year at that table. So it'll give me a chance to kind of share that story. I also, if you guys haven't checked it out, definitely go to my website, allinsociety.com, ALLNSOCIE.com, and you can click one of the links and I'll show you a video of me dealing. I was dealing the World Poker Tour. You said I can take poker anywhere in the world. Yeah, you can. They probably play poker in Antarctica. They got casinos everywhere. I want to go to Africa and play. Dominican Republic. I keep hearing good things about the Dominican Republic. I got to talk to Darian about that. All right, but moving on. But yeah, I will be coming to people's homes and conducting poker tournaments or cash games or whatever, just poker 101. And then we'll discuss, budgeting and things like that. All right, Stefan, I'm about to send you the link. Just 1 second. All right, I'm about to get into some sports chat. Send my buddy Stefan a link, see if he wants to jump in here. People live there. For real. They gotta be people that live there. My dad went to. So my dad, he left General Motors. I think it was after he retired from General Motors. He worked for himself, and he went over to China in this like freezing cold temperatures, places like nowhere should be. So if he went there and the people living there, I'm sure people live there in Antarctica too. People live in Antarctica for sure.
What he don't.
People live in Antarctica.
No, he doesn't.
Are you
Look
sure?
it up.
We don't figure this out.
That's the only part of the world that's never. Nope. It's only.
Wow. No permanent human habitation.
You didn't know that?
No.
No, you can't. We can't. You can ask for Antarctica. It's illegal.
There are, however, permanent human settlements where scientists and support staff live for part of the year or a rotating basis. The continent of Antarctica makes up most of Antarctic region. Is it just
So you
like
know
that
why?
unbearable?
No.
What's
There's a
there?
lot of. There's a lot of secret stuff that
I was
goes
about to
on
say,
there.
what's there? Okay, I was going to say, what's there that they don't want us to know?
Exactly. You can't even fly over it.
Huh?
You can't even
Can't
fly over
fly
it.
over it?
No.
What?
I don't want to say I'm a conspiracy theorist, but I'm very educated with stuff like that.
Can
And
you
it's crazy,
fly
yo.
over Antarctica? No, it says the short answer is no. It's not illegal to fly over Antarctica, but there are practical considerations that make it challenging for regular airlines to navigate across the land. In many parts of Antarctica, there's limited or no infrastructure, no landing strips, or obviously no refueling stations for planes. So you probably don't want to be over there anyways. It's probably dangerous. You can't land. Why would you want to be over?
That's not true, yo. It's so much stuff. It's like it's so much crazy stuff over there. It's ridiculous. That's say that it some things that some of the theories that's out there is like that's where when the government or certain countries want to kill people off, that's where they send them. So you never see them again and whatnot. It's crazy. It's a lot of they say a lot of it's where the aliens live and whatnot, and it's crazy. It's a whole bunch of stuff.
That's where
That's
Tupac at.
yeah, that's what he is. It's ridiculous, man. It's ridiculous.
All right, did you watch the Monday Night Football game?
Duh.
All right, what did you think about after they got blown out by the Ravens? What was your take on the Lions after this game? Or do you
They
think
not the Lions are not ready for the
so?
big
Game,
stage.
so you're saying this game didn't really matter to you?
No, y'all win your division, but y'all not gonna make past the 49ers, the Eagles. Maybe y'all might be the Cowboys because the Cowboys are Cowboys.
I think the
Y'all, should, y'all,
Cowboys.
should- y'all gonna win your first round definitely, but the second round, if y'all gotta play us,
Yeah, that's well. Yeah, yeah. I'm or excuse me, the 49ers got tougher too. But before I get into that,
no, they did. Y'all might could beat the 49ers. 49ers it's not who they cracked up to be.
no, they got.
Yeah. So
I'm saying they got Chase Young.
okay, so they
You
still
just
gotta score points.
you just scared. You just scared of
No,
the
I'm not.
defense. I'm just
Our defensive line is better than the 49ers.
your offensive line is probably the best in the game. So
Yes.
hmm.
So we're not worried about Chase Young. Chase Young had no sacks yesterday when he played us on Sunday. No sacks. We're not worried about him. So we're not worried about that. Y'all, matter of fact, y'all got a good defense. Y'all should beat the 49ers. Let me take that back. I forgot how Brock Purdy is under pressure. He's horrible. So and
Yeah,
y'all might make it to us in the NFC Championship to us. Y'all might make it.
he's starting to crack. You're making me nervous. If there was a takeaway from this game, though, was Jameer Gibbs finally
Oh yeah.
broke out. But it wasn't really till the second half. He was productive in the first half. They were wide throwing, putting him out on the what is it as a wide receiver, and he was productive. I think he had like 5 catches for 37 yards. So nothing crazy, but that's what I wanted them to
Yeah.
do: put him out and spread it out. But it seems like they want to run it down your throat first. I think that they
Yeah,
should
of
start
course.
spreading it out.
He would have been happy. Dave Montgomery was going to take away his carries and whatnot. So now they see Gibbs can play. Montgomery might be second now.
No.
But yeah, but y'all got two good running backs though.
Yeah. So it feels good that they to see him break through like that. And then Amon-Ra St. Brown had he had a good game. He was sick too, so it was good to see he had a good game.
He always have a good game.
Yeah. Did you see the celebration where the woman picked up Jameer Gibbs?
Yeah, I see him.
Yeah. Here, hold on a second. And then the Lions got, not that this is a big pickup, but I think it means something. They got Jonathan Peoples Jones from the Browns, but I think it's because Jameson Williams he's had too many drops. I think they're starting to lose faith in him.
Yeah, he's supposed to be a stud.
Yeah, he's got too many drops at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had him. He messed up my parlay last night. I thought like I put like in game parlay, and I thought they had like 600 to 1 that gives for getting 70 receiving yards, and I took that, and he literally second half he really didn't get no more passes. And what else? Oh, Adams messed up every single parlay I had. Adams only got 11 yards. He messed my whole thing up. I was so freaking mad.
They didn't. I don't
Oh
think
my
it's because
god!
the defense was. I think they just. I don't know. Maybe it was the defense.
No, it wasn't the defense. Garoppolo is horrible. Oh my god, he sucks. They say he's worse than Zach Wilson.
So the Lions got a bye week, so that's good. And then hopefully Montgomery will be back safe, and then we'll see what they're really about. But they don't play I don't think they play anybody real till the Cowboys till real late in the season.
Yep,
We'll see what
that
they
should be
do
all
against
right.
the Packers again. That's about it.
That should be all right. Y'all should, baby, win most of your games and get the number 2 seed. Hopefully, you get a good home game. And if y'all, hey, yo, let's make a deal. We play y'all in the playoffs, and it's in Philly. We go to the game. What do you say?
Yeah, yeah, definitely go. If it's in Philly and that's a what 3 hour,
Yeah.
3.5 hour drive, absolutely, I'll be there.
All right, say less.
Yeah, yeah. Actually, no, I don't know. No,
You
no.
know what?
I wouldn't wear my Lions gear. I'm no fool.
Why not? You and me. What are you talking about?
It
You
doesn't
good? I got
matter.
you.
Some people don't respect.
No, no. Trust me. I'll miss the Philly. Trust me. You'll be okay with me. Ain't nobody gonna say nothing to you. You with me? Guarantee you. I'm gonna be there with a lot of our friends. So you gonna be with us. So you be
All
okay.
right, all
You
right,
ain't nobody gonna say. It's gonna be like 6 to 10 of us. So you'll be okay. Trust me.
all
You ain't
right,
gonna have no problem, Claude. Trust me.
all right. I was saying, no, I got to be careful. Philly don't play in a playoff game. No,
Yeah,
no.
oh yeah, no, you good. If you were the crazy thing is when other fans are with other Philly fans, visitor fans come with other Philly fans, they don't say that. It's when you by yourself. We're like a lion. When we see a zebra going across, when the lion see a zebra go across by herself, oh, we get you. You going.
That ain't right. Oh,
Yeah.
all right. So we already discussed Chase Young. But if no one caught it yet, Chase Young traded to 49ers from Washington. And then the Cardinals, they traded Dobbs to the Vikings.
Yes, that's gonna be a good pickup.
Yeah,
Dobbs is not bad.
yeah, yeah. All right.
That's gonna help him out a lot. It's not Kirk Cousins, but it's gonna help out Gobs. I said Gobs. Dobbs can ball.
Someone talking to
Even though even though he looked like, oh no, man, he's good. He's okay. I was about to say something. I forgot where we was at.
you. All right. So here's my top five. Now you tell me if you agree. For the
Okay,
through week eight, just through week eight. So
listening.
five, I got Cowboys. Four, Chiefs. Three, Dolphins. Two, Ravens. And then the Eagles are number one right now.
I don't agree with nothing on that list, but the Eagles are number one.
You don't like nothing else besides the Eagles one?
No, no, your whole list is all messed up. Five. I have. Five. I have. Who do I have? I have. No. Let me go from one top to bottom. I have Eagles at one. Two, I have Chiefs. Three, I have the Jags. Four, I have
Oh,
the Dolphins. Four, I have the Dolphins. No, four, I have the Ravens. And then five, I have the Dolphins.
so no Cowboys in there. And then you like
Oh,
the Panthers. You like wow. I just don't trust them. They're like the Lions to me.
the Panthers.
Or the
That
Jaguar.
wasn't good.
They're like the Lions. I don't trust them yet.
No,
What real team
no,
have
that's
they
different.
yet?
They won a 5 game win streak, 4 game win streak, or something like that. They defense is top notch. They have a better quarterback than y'all. They have a better running back than y'all. Have
Stop.
they better defense than y'all?
They I know better defense. Stop.
Yes, they do. Look at the numbers.
I don't care about the numbers.
Oh, okay. So that's your personal opinion. Okay. Sound like the Cowboys fan.
So they lost or no, they beat the Bills. That's their best win.
Yes.
And the Bills are hit or miss. They beat the Steelers at on the road too. They play all right. So
I
we
guess
know
I
that
guess I guess I guess, I guess I should put y'all in the top five because y'all did beat the Chiefs. Y'all got the same record as the
I
Chiefs.
don't,
So
I'm not even in. I don't have them in the top five. So I don't want to say.
I mean, but y'all should be because y'all beat the Chiefs. So the Chiefs by
That was
record, y'all
week,
have a better record than Chiefs,
that was week one though. That was week one.
but still by record,
Yeah, no.
y'all above them. Y'all above them.
40 the Jaguars play the 49ers next. So we'll see what's
Yeah,
and they're at home. So we'll really see. Depending on they could lose the game and still if they keep it close,
yeah,
if they're the real deal or not.
yeah.
But that'll be their test. They got an easy schedule. They play the Bengals. We'll see what the Bengals are doing in December. And then they play the Ravens too. So yeah, they got a couple tough games.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah. That was it. But yeah, I saw they were like a 4 or 5 game win streak. Yeah. All right. Well, I'm about to kick you off. I'm about to finish out the rest of the episode. I'm already an hour
Say
deep.
the top.
Yeah,
Yeah, y'all were deep.
I'm already hour deep. All right. Yeah, but thank you for coming on. I appreciate it.
No problem.
All right. Yeah. All right. Thank you, Stefan, for jumping on. We're gonna run through the sports and we'll talk a little bit about the market. All right, NBA news. James Harden is finally traded to the Los Angeles Clippers. Finally. If you want to know the details of the trade, I'll have the link posted for you guys to view. Some of the analysts were saying that the Sixers are better, and I don't really think from the haul that they got. They're deeper, but I don't know if they're necessarily any better. They really like how Maxey is playing, and maybe with Harden gone, they'll give Maxey to really opportunity to shine. So we'll see if that's true, and if Maxey develops to be a almost all-star player, then maybe things will work out for him with the additional depth. New courts are unveiled for the NBA end-season tournament. Um, if you guys are not familiar with the NBA end-season tournament, I'm going to go over that. This is a new addition this year to really spark interest in the regular season and not have fans just kind of lull around or really not care about what's going on in the NBA until pretty much a month before the playoffs start. So the tournament will be similar format to the in-season tournaments in European soccer. 6 intra-conference groups of 5, 3 groups each in the Eastern and Western conferences. Tuesdays and Fridays during November will feature group games against each of the other teams in their pool. 2 at home and 2 on the road. These games will still count as regular season games. So basically, we'll back it up a little bit because a lot of information. So they'll break it up to 6 intra-conference groups. Okay? Each group will have 5 in a team. To a team. Excuse me. We'll have 5 teams in the intra-conference groups. 3 groups each in the East and 3 groups each in the West. Okay? So 3 groups of 5 in the East, 3 groups of 5 in the West. And then on Tuesdays and Fridays during November, so basically starting tomorrow, each feature groups games, or excuse me, November will feature group games against each other's teams in their pool. So I think it's the Wizards, Milwaukee, Miami, and I think Charlotte in their groups. So Wizards, Milwaukee, Miami, Charlotte, and maybe even Miami as well, if I haven't said it. There's 5 in there, and they'll play each other. I'm just using the Washington Wizards group as a reference. The games will still count as a regular season, but it's kind of like almost like baseball. They're just kind of playing each other's. Well, not baseball, but I guess it's just like they said. It's kind of like soccer. 4 teams from each conference advance to a single elimination tournament. 3 pool winners in addition to the group runner-up with the best record as a wild card. So let's dissect that again. So 4 teams from each conference advance. And so we know we have 6 of the pools total. And then the 3 pool winners in addition to the group runner-up with the best record as a wild card. So that's really confusing to kind of read and understand. I looked at the diagram. I could really easily read it and understand it. But as I'm reading this is not worded well. So 4 teams from each conference. So in East and the West, both have 4 teams advance to a single elimination tournament. So, okay. So remember we have 3 groups of 5 from the East, 3 groups of 5 from the West. The winners of each 3 advance, and then they pull the runner-up, the best record runner-up for the 4th team. And then they come, and I believe they go to Vegas. So 4 teams from each conference advance to a single elimination tournament. Yep. The 3 pool winners in addition to the group runner-up with the best record as a wild card. So yeah, okay, I got it now. The semifinals and the final will be played in Las Vegas at T-Mobile Arena. And for the 2023 tournament, players on the championship team will each receive $500,000, and runners-up will get $200,000. So it's a nice purse for this. So it gives reason for the players to play. The players on the 2 losing teams in the semifinals will each get $100,000, and the players in the 4 losing teams in the quarterfinals will each get $50,000. The semifinals begin on December 7th and the championship on Saturday, December 9th. So it's a little confusing to dissect, but it doesn't seem too difficult now that we broke it down. So it's the East and the West in the NBA, and they have 3 groups. And in each group, there are 5, excuse me. All right, let's back it up. I'm going to get this right. 6 groups total of 5 teams. 3 and 3, 5 teams. Each group plays each other. The 3 best and the runner-up with the best record, who is the wild card, will come, and that'll be the semifinals. Then they play single game elimination. So one plays the wild card, whoever wins that, and then the middle teams play. And then they knock each other out, and then the finals play December 9th. All right. Disclaimer time, because we're going to talk about the market, the stock market, and how it has been making me pull a little bit of my hair that I have out. So disclaimer, the information provided in the show about personal finance and investing is for educational and entertainment purposes only and should not be considered financial advice. Viewers are encouraged to consult with a qualified financial advisor before making any investment decisions. The content presented may not be accurate, complete, or timely, and we do not assume responsibility for any errors or omissions. Investing involves risk, and past performance is not indicative of future results. Any endorsements or advertisements featured do not constitute recommendations, and by participating in the show, you acknowledge and accept these disclaimers. All right, market talk, and we're going to talk about the earnings reports for a few of the companies. So my portfolio took a little bit of a hit after the companies I own reported quarterly earnings, and let's discuss companies' earnings a little bit further if you're not familiar with that. So earnings are a key measure of a company's profitability and financial performance. They play a central role in determining the value of a company's stock in the stock market. Each quarter, companies release an earnings report, which includes details about their revenue or total income and expenses. The earnings report also provides important figures like the earnings per share, or you'll see it as EPS, which is a company's total earnings divided by the number of outstanding shares of stock. Earnings per share is a widely watched indicator of a company's profitability. All right, so let's back that up a little bit. It says, the earnings report also provides important figures like earnings per share, and you'll see that at EPS, like we said, which is a company's total earnings, their total amount of earned, divided by the number of outstanding shares of the stock. So all the money they earn divided by how many slices of the pie of the company that are available. If the company beats expectations and reports strong earnings, it can lead to an increase in the stock's price. It can is keyword can. Conversely, if a company's earnings disappoint, it can lead to a decrease in the stock's price. Earnings can be influenced by a variety of factors, including economic conditions, competition, industry trends, and a company-specific events. Therefore, analysts and investors often look at trends in earnings over time to get a clearer picture of a company's financial health. As stated above, companies can report positive earnings, but other factors may impact whether the stock price moves up or down. Alphabet or Google posted earnings growth that was better than expectation, but a segment of their business showed signs of decay, the cloud business, which led the stock to drop, which is a perfect example. They reported good earnings, but because the cloud came back a little bit under expectation, especially compared to how Microsoft did. They beat on the earnings and revenue as well, but Microsoft's cloud segment did much better than Google's, and Microsoft reported first. And so after seeing how Microsoft did, investors compared it Google to Microsoft, and they're like, oh, no, no, no. Their stock is already up a little bit. It doesn't look like we're getting the growth we were expecting, so it's time for us to take some profits or just sell. Some people just could be selling and they could be losing money. But probably the vast majority, or the reason why it moved so much, is because the big money, the hedge funds, they had an investment, and now they didn't feel that their investment was growing in the same cadence or the same trajectory as they were expecting or they're accustomed to, and so they were fearful, and so they sold. I don't know that's for sure, but that's just my guess of the reason why the stock moved the way that it did, even though they had good results for the quarter. At least in my eyes, they did. All right, so we're going to dive a little bit deeper into my portfolio. So through October 30th, 2023, year to date, my total portfolio, consists of over 30,000 in assets managed personally by myself, is up 13% year to date compared to the S&P, which is up 9.97% year to date. And like I said, that's through October 30th. It did not take into account today. So my No Limit Runners account, that's pretty much the account that I invest in. That's my cash account. That's money that I can sell, and if I can sell it, I can just take it out and I can spend it as I want. I'm gonna pay taxes, but I can do as I please. So the no limit runners account is up 12.62% compared to the 9.97% for S&P. The first number I gave you is the total amount, the cash account, and then my retirement account. Like I said, my non-retirement account is up 12.62% compared to the 9.97% for the S&P. And so for my 401k Roth, that's only up 1.21%, behind the 2.3% the S&P is up year to date. This account is tracked from 3/31/23 when I rolled my old employer's 401k Roth funds into my self-managed account. They gave me the opportunity and control of that account. So still up, not doing as well as the S&P in the 401k, and pretty much the 401k holds the vast majority of my of the total amount of money that I'm basically controlling. But we're still up. Nothing, nothing crazy. Yesterday was pretty. Yesterday, I think we were down, or I was pretty much even yesterday. Either broke even yesterday or was even. But today, the market has definitely turned better for me. So hopefully I did better than the S&P did today, and I can get that 401k Roth to get a little bit closer to the S&P and start getting on the trajectory where I'm ahead of the S&P. Um, definitely learned some tough lessons, and we'll discuss that. So Tesla and Google, with the significant moves in the stock price, sent my portfolio lower, providing opportunity for me to buy more shares at a better price. But the reason why I bought at a better price, the reason why I have to buy at a better price, we'll hit on here. So I learned the hard way that buying distressed companies at 52-week low is the play. I'm going to read a little bit further. So not focusing on the 200-day moving average as an entry point, and I'll discuss that further. Patience is the key in this game. Buy at great prices and hold long term, or until the story or reason you bought the company changes. Investing is easy. Keep cash on the side to get in position when the opportunity arises, and it's a lot like poker, guys. So I kind of want to elaborate on that. So before I would go on and see, or go on like Yahoo and see what's the 200-day average of where's the average stock price of this company. We'll just use Roblox for that matter. And so I'm going to go into Yahoo right now. It's like Yahoo Finance. If you have an Apple phone, this is a real easy way to do this is to go to the Apple Stocks app, right? And you can go to search and you can click search Roblox. You go to Roblox and then you see it says see more data from Yahoo Finance. You'll see a chart, and then you'll see a few numbers, the open, the high, the low, and right under in blue is see more data from Yahoo Finance. You can go straight there. And you go straight there, it'll take you to statistics. And you can scroll down a little bit and it'll show you the 200-day moving average is $36.76. Okay? That's in the past 200 days. That's been the moving average for the stock Roblox for the past 200 days. So the stock is currently $31.81 is Roblox, okay? And so, like I said, the average has been $36. So that means it's currently below its average price. So I have been investing in not every one of my stocks, but the ones that have mattered, the ones that I've invested in the most. I've been looking at this moving average and I've said, all right, this is a good entry point. I feel safe to enter here, thinking, all right, I'm good. But no. What I learned is, and I learned this from the VP of, I don't have his card in front of me. I think I moved it over into my wallet. But it was a VP of like, VP of investing or something like that. He works at Morgan Stanley. So this guy knows his stuff. He was one of the speakers at the Black Wealth Summit. And he said, no, don't look at that 200-day moving average. What you need to look at, you need to look at the 52-week low, and that's where you need to be getting in at. Though that's where your entry point is, and that's when you get to go ham. And that's where you should be going. So the 200-day moving average for Roblox, or excuse me, the 52-week low for Roblox is $24.88. But here's the key. Just because stock is at its 52-week low, it crashed down to its low, does not mean that it is valuable stock to buy and you can just buy blindly any stock that's hit that low, that's gone that far down. No, you need to do your research. You need to figure out this. All right, this is the distressed company, or this is a house that is the ugliest house in the nicest neighborhood. It just needs to be renovated. Think of it, just using this as an analogy. You go into the house, you look at the house. All right, the frame and everything is good. The structure, for lack of a better word, everything is good with the house. All it just needs is just needs to be renovated. Someone, this house is from the 90s. Whoever, and it's the same person who bought the house is the same person that is selling it to you, and they're older and they're just consolidating. They want to go south and move in Florida, right? And so you move into the house and it's a bunch of like 90s decor and it's just outdated and old, right? And so you need to you need to renovate it, you need to update it. So it's kind of like stock market. So you find the 52-week low, right? And say, like I did, I found Roblox. All right, Roblox is at a 52-week low and it's at $24.88. All right, and I had it on my watch list. I'm like, all right, and I've done my research. You do your research, and what I like to do is I Bank with America, right? And so I use Merrill Edge as my investing platform. And on Merrill, you can look, and it has all this information for you. Like back in the day, like they didn't have this information that was readily available. And you can see from people that are like analysts and cover this company and get paid to do this. They provide their insight, and you can kind of compare it from your research to how you break down companies and determine whether this is a good buy or not, if this is a good company or not. Does it have a good, strong balance sheet? If something goes awry, do they have the cash to take care of business or to stay afloat? How many assets do they have? How many liabilities do they have? Do they have more assets than liabilities? If they have a lot of debt, is that a company that you want to invest in? Probably not. Or if they have a lot of debt, do they have enough cash on reserves in order to pay that debt when it comes due? There's multiple things you need to think about. What are the economic conditions? Is this a cyclical stock or is this a secular stock? I want to make sure I get this right. Cyclical is it goes in cycles, right? It just kind of goes how let's say you have a business that is a Halloween store where you're not making money in any other time throughout the year, right? You're not making money at Christmas in a Halloween store, right? Or Halloween business. So it's a cyclical stock, right? It's a cyclical company. As far as secular, if I'm saying this right, I think of it as secure. This company is going to make money round the clock, regardless of what's going on. And so a company that is secular that I've just bought is Coca-Cola. People are going to consume beverages year round. We need to drink water. We need our favorite beverages year round. So you're going to, that's a good stock to invest in, at least in my perspective, my point of view. So I say all of this is so now you see you have a distressed company, right? It's at its 52-week low, 52-week low, just like Roblox was. And so it's I go in and you want to look, and you can go to, you just go to Roblox.com, and I'm just using Roblox as an example. And all of these companies that are on the that are publicly traded, they usually have an investor page. And you can go there, and it has a report, and you can see everything they reported, everything they have to report to the SEC, just kind of see how their company is going. Um, Quarter to quarter, year by year. And you can go on there. And I also like to look and see what's happened in the past, because now I'm investing now, but I also want to see what's been happening in the past year, the past month, the past 2 years, the past 5 years. See what's going on before I'm getting in now. I want to know what's been going on. Am I getting, especially right when it's this distressed company, you want to know exactly what you're getting yourself into. You're buying into this company. You are owning a piece of the pie, a piece of this company. Think you are owning this company, and you're going to get a portion of their proceeds. And if they're losing money, okay, so think about it. If you really want to jump, you got to think about this. And I'm somebody I have an addictive personality, and I don't like to think of this like gambling, and I don't even think of poker as like gambling. But there's moments that I get really excited, and it's really hard, and I still do this when the stock starts going up. You want to start and like adding money onto it. Oh yeah, I want to go on the ride. Well, no, you should have bought the company and was distressed. You load the boat there and then just enjoy the ride. Yeah, maybe you could add a little bit of money as it goes on when it's still really at the bottom. But once you bought at the bottom, and then it runs up 20%, is it really necessary for you to continue to add money on unless something has changed in the story or the thesis, the reason why you bought the company initially to make you think, all right, this thing is about to run 2-3 times more than I originally thought. It's time to invest more. So you never want to buy when at its high, excuse me, when it's at its high. You want to buy it when it's low. And the best time to buy is when the company is distressed, when it's at its lowest. And you do your research, and you kind of just like creeping in the weeds, and that's when you get in, and that's when you can make generational wealth if you have enough money to put down on your investment. Or you just make a nice return, and you ride the wave, and you sell it at a peak, and you take that money and to invest in something else. So like investing is easy. Um, just as much as a game of poker can be easy if you just keep things simple. But when you try to play every single hand, and then when you try to bluff everybody, and then when you lose a pot, and then you get in your feelings, and you try to win money back, and then you're chasing your money, yeah, that's when it gets dangerous. But poker in itself is a very easy game, but it takes a lifetime to master, and a lot of it is mastering our emotions, right? And poker, just if you can't master your emotions, you're never going to be good at poker. But you could play poker in order to master your emotions. What is the best way to figure out how you're really going to react to, if you say you invested, say you never invested before, right? And then you found a company that you want to invest in, and you put $1,000 down. You don't know how you're going to react when you open up your account, and then you see that your account is down $200 and your stock is down. And so that's why I think if you learn poker, and I'm not, like I said, I'm not trying to teach you guys poker so you go to play poker at a poker table. But if I teach you poker and you learn and you get confident and you want to go out there and play poker yourself, you go out there and you play your game, and then you lose. Say you go play 1-3 no limit, and you buy in with $100, and then you lose that $100. That's just like investing in the stock market. How did you feel after you lost that $100? Did you feel miserable? Did you feel sick to your stomach? If that's the case, then, well, right there's your lesson right there. If you invested in the stock market and you put money in there, like I said, I gave you the example, you put $1,000 in the stock, and then a month later you open it up and you see your stock is down $200-300, and you're sick in your stomach. Well, right there, you already know what your threshold is, what you can and you cannot stomach. So you're gonna have to work out however you want to work it out yourself. Maybe you don't invest that much in one company and you diversify, like we talked about. Investing in an ETF and an index fund would be a lot safer. It would be the first thing you should invest in, because that way you're not going to have these huge crazy swings unless the whole stock market just goes down in a vast drop. So think of it that way. In an index fund, it's kind of like playing fixed limit hold'em. You don't just go to the casino, or you don't you don't invite Claude over. Claude teaches you poker. In order for you, and the reason why you had Claude over is because you wanted to learn how to budget properly. You wanted to learn how to play poker. You wanted to have a way to kind of get your buddies over and your family together and kind of talk about money, because you really weren't comfortable before. And that things go well. Claude teaches you the game. You start spending time with your family and friends. You're talking about money. Things are going good. You dive deeper into poker. Then what I'm not wanting you to do, I don't want you to go play no limit first. I want you to play limit hold'em first. And limit hold'em is your ETF, your that follows the index fund, and that's going to be your safer investment. Your individual stocks are no limit hold'em. See where we're going here now? This is why I said poker and investing in the stock market to be very similar. I don't want y'all coming out here and jocking my stuff and trying to start a business, because first of all, you ain't got the receipts like I do, and second of all, you don't have the charisma like I do. You can go ahead and try teaching people this stuff, because I already know it's about to work, and I'm about to get people's mind to click. But I'm gonna repeat it again for whoever's watching, if that's Stefan, whoever it is. Once I teach you poker, you learn poker, then you feel confident playing with your friends and buddies at the casino. Your safer bet for your beginner is going to be an ETF that follows an index, and it's not going to sway crazy like a Tesla stock would. That's your beginning, to kind of get your feet wet to see what you can stomach. Then when you get comfortable investing, you learn how to dissect the company, you know how to invest into a company. Then you go and play no limit hold'em. You're playing no limit hold'em. All right, now we can really see what I can stomach and what I can't stomach. You play no limit hold'em. You play that. You play $100. You lose $100 real fast because you didn't know what the heck you were doing, and you feel sick to your stomach. All right, well, you're probably not going to be. Well, I shouldn't say this, but if you're not a good hold'em player, if you can lose your money that fast, unless you just got unlucky aces or kings into aces, you're probably not good at researching and figuring out what's a good investment in the stock market. I'm just going to take a wild guess. These two really go hand in hand. And I'm not saying that I'm the best poker player or the best stock investor, because I'm learning both as time goes on. But I've been playing cards for over a decade, so I think I'm pretty decent at cards. Not as good in investing. So you can kind of figure out where you stand if you can stomach investing in individual stocks, because those individual stocks are going to sway. Or you can get into a company like Coca-Cola or like consumer staples that are probably not going to sway too much. Coca-Cola is something that I just started investing in. It's a safe bet. I'm not going to see a whole lot of volatility. Um, but the last thing I want is somebody, their first individual stock they invest in is Tesla. No, because you're going to watch your money doing this. Because I know when you first start investing into the stock market, you're probably going to be opening up your app and just checking it every single day, every hour, look and see if your money's going up or down. So I just wanted to hit on that. I think that's really going to be the key thing that's really going to get my business going once I relate the poker to the stock market. If people aren't investing in the stock market and they weren't familiar with playing poker, I think that'll kind of be the thing that'll really get their gears going and make them feel comfortable. At least I hope I make them feel comfortable enough to go out and start investing, or at least playing poker with their friends and family and having those conversations about investing if they don't necessarily feel comfortable going out and doing it after I share the information with them. Or I can also have products and services for people that, all right, now I feel comfortable investing, or now I feel comfortable going out, or I want to go play cards. Claude, can I go play cards with you? and then we kind of go play cards together, and we can kind of talk about investing and stuff, and that just kind of just baby steps. So I'm looking forward to next year. Um, Kind of really just been praying on this and talking to friends and family about what they think that I should be doing. How I, what's the best way to kind of start this business and kick this off and really take my passion for poker and share it with others and help them as well. So I hope I hope that it works because I've devoted a lot of time and a lot of money to getting this started. Last thing I wanted to do was start this business just to do a podcast and the show every Tuesday, and that was it. And try to sell you some T-shirts and some hats and stuff like that. I know there's a lot of people out here that just want to start a brand, start a clothing line or something like that. That's not what I'm doing. I'm here to impact people. I'm here to change lives, and make this world a better place, and really, um, and disrupt the status quo, the racial wealth gap, helping people that are underserved, and if I can help people that just maybe just need a little extra help. And they're maybe not the people that look like me or underserved. And they just want someone else to kind of teach them something in a way that they understand or they feel more comfortable, or just something that they accept more so than however else that it's been taught or relayed to them, for lack of a better word. So I don't know. We'll see how it goes. I've been doing so good or doing decent myself so far. I don't think I didn't just stumble across a stock that was just running hot and just threw my money into it. I've been buying things and I've lost some money buying things, and they've done well. And I said, no, this doesn't really fit for me long term in this portfolio, or I like it in this portfolio, but I don't like it in this portfolio. So I'm really just playing around with this, and really just trying to figure out what's the proper way to build a diverse portfolio. But if you guys really want to know the basics, the best way that I started, and this came from Ian Dunlop, and watching them on Market Mondays every Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern on YouTube. Apple, Microsoft, and then buy 2 ETFs. So I started with Apple and Microsoft. I bought shares of that, and then I bought VOO, which mimics the S&P 500, and I also bought I think VTI, which was the total stock market, or VIG, which was the Vanguard Dividend. So I just bought 2 tech companies and 2 indexes, or 2 ETFs that followed the S&P 500 and then some other index. I started with that, and that was beginning of this year. In those shares of Apple and Microsoft are probably both up 20%. So I just started with that, and I'll probably never sell those shares. I don't really see Apple, Microsoft going down that far again. Maybe Apple, if they have a really bad reporting, could drop down to where I bought it. But Microsoft seems to be going strong. I don't ever see them. I don't, unless something crazy happens, see Microsoft going down that low again. And it wasn't crazy money. Like I said, I just bought a couple shares, but it was just that simplicity of it made me understand. All right, this is really easy. Buy companies at a great price, hold on to it, and you're making money. I think there's a crazy stat that over like 100 years, um, the stock market is up, or maybe even since beginning, the stock market is up like 70% of the time. So I'll take those odds, right? Might not be up today, might not be up tomorrow, might not be up next year, might not be up the year after that. But 70% of the time, the stock market is going up. So you can sit on the sidelines if you want. And I'm not saying right now is the perfect time to invest. But sit on the sidelines if you want. it's getting more difficult if you're around my age. I'm 35, and if you haven't started investing, it's going to be very difficult unless you're a high income earner or unless you are piling a bunch of stuff in your 401k. But if you're not really aggressively putting money in your 401k and you're not investing, you're not a high income earner, I don't know how you're going to retire. Thinking about this, and I've already started investing, and I really started this where I see it late. We all should have been investing in the market in our instead of thinking about drinking at the age of 21, the narrative should be how many of having at least like $5,000, $10,000 in the stock market by the age of 21, or $2,100 in the stock market, investing in stocks and just holding on to them, really risky stuff, and just holding on to them for 5, 10 years, and maybe you find something that hits and kind of pay for your college, or have your mom and your dad invest with invest for you at a really young age, and then they talked about this at the summit. And then by the time you are, it's time for you to go off to college. Your college paid for. Like just stockpile money in the S&P 500. Like I said, instead of just leaving it in a piggy bank, collecting dust in a corner or in a closet or something, that doesn't make any sense anymore. It's good that we're stockpiling money and saving it. But now let's put it somewhere so that money can make money and compound. And over time, it's gonna be some real money. But putting it in the bank where just your traditional bank, you're probably not yielding anything. There's plenty of online accounts where you can get good yields, like 5% nowadays. So just consider doing that if you have any money that's sitting for your kids. In a piggy bank or something. Put that money in the stock market. The S&P 500, it's down at a level it hasn't been in a while. So now would be a good time to do your own research and consider putting some money in away if you guys have children, and in the S&P 500 for your kids. It's a good time to buy right now. Trap was saying that 4,200, if I think it was 4218 or something like that. If the S&P 500 cracked 4218, I found it. Yeah, 4218 was the support. So support is kind of like your floor. If it cracked the floor, we don't know how deep the below is. If there's any ground underneath, or are we just gonna fall forever? No, it's not gonna fall forever. I'm just being dramatic. Um, it was at 4218 was the support, and right now, just 1 second, guys. I think I can find it. So right now, the S&P, oh, that's the Vanguard. Just one moment. Trying to find on CNBC, so I can give you an accurate number. All right, U.S. markets, S&P 500 is at 4193 right now. It closed at 4193. So that's under that 4218 support. So we're still a little bit in the danger zone right now. And like I said earlier, Apple reports earnings on Thursday. And I already said Google had a decent report in my eyes for the quarter, because their cloud their cloud division came back not as exciting as Microsoft's in comparison. So that stock, excuse me, so that stock dropped after earnings, even though they had a pretty good quarter. I think Apple iPhone shares, amongst other things, are kind of stalling right now. I think people are kind of now realizing what I was saying before. Like they keep putting out the same phone year after year after year and really not doing anything. Maybe like a little bit faster and some minor tweaks to it. Like there's gonna be eventually people are gonna stop buying this stuff, and with the economy that is right now, I think that's now happening. So if Apple is the biggest company in the stock market. So if Apple on Thursday comes back a little sour, you just imagine what's about to transpire. So I'm not saying there's going to be a big crash or anything, but I think it's definitely going to possibly send the S&P lower with all the negative news that's going on. It just seems like people just want an excuse to sell Apple, and Apple's still up a decent amount for the year. So it's not crazy to think that if they have anything that shows any type of decay or slowing growth, that people are going to sell their shares. So just something to be mindful of. Something to be mindful of. Yeah, but buying distressed properties is key. Distressed properties. Buy low, sell high is key. All right. This has been a long episode. I appreciate y'all for joining me, for watching with me, for hopefully learning with me. If I provided any type of value, please let me know. If anything you like, please let me know. Anything you did not like, please let me know. I appreciate it if you went over to YouTube and subscribe to my page. Just go to YouTube and type in All in Society and Friends and subscribe if you haven't already. If you have, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Please like, share, let everybody know. I know it's been a long episode. I know I threw a couple gems in there. I know there's been some moments in there I was a little long-winded, but it is what it is. It's my show. It's all right. It's not one of them cookie cutter shows where I gotta make everything all clean and cut and edited. That's not what I'm looking for. I like the raw stuff, right? I don't like. I mean, sometimes you want something clean cut and edited, especially if you're buying something, um, or you invested X amount. I would expect something clean cut and edited. But for something like this, it's kind of free and just off the top. I bring people in that are watching. Um, no, I just like it fun like this. So thank you guys for watching. Go Lions. Make sure you check out my podcast, especially the last podcast. If you're a fan of this show or if you enjoy the show or if I provide any value, definitely check out the last podcast. I got real deep. Like I said, the Blackwell Summit was really awesome event, and it was at a church, and it really just I went to church this past Sunday. I've been talking about going to church for forever, but I've been working in the casino industry, and really just my schedule didn't align. At least for going to church on Sunday morning, that was kind of like I want to go to church on Sunday morning. That's what I want to go do. But I was on day shift, really didn't have the opportunity to do that, and then I was on grave shift after that, and yeah, that wasn't fun. Wasn't a fan of that shift. So now I have the opportunity. I have no excuses but to go. Um, Really just get back to being a wholesome person. I kind of lost myself a little bit, and I'm not saying that I'm this huge sinner or I'm this terrible person or anything like that, but some of the things that the pastor said really felt like he was talking to me and almost like looking at me, and I'm sure that wasn't actually what's going on, but it just kind of made me do some self-reflecting and really want to be a better man, want to be a better person, and also I want to help others. So um, definitely going to be joining the church. Hopefully, really diving in. There's been a few members of the church have been that I met from the summit, and I didn't even know they were part of the church, and really just kind of been pouring into me. Renee was one of them, so I really appreciate her. She's been sending me like verses from the Bible pretty much every day. Just kind of it's just been good because sometimes I'm out here in Maryland. I don't really have any family or anybody close by, so sometimes feels like I'm lonely, and just have a church and a feel of family and belonging. It feels good. So it was nice. This is the first time I have ever been to church without my mother or father or some family member. I went by myself. This is the first time I've ever done that. So it was it was nice. Um, Definitely will going back to Sunday, unless something crazy comes up, then I can't make it. But I'll definitely be going there, and I'll be traveling soon. Going to see my parents for the holidays, and I'll be able to attend church with them too. So it'll be nice to do that too. So working in the casino industry is rough. There's just the people that you encounter in that space. Um, and I don't mean to talk down on people, but I worked in a, I moved my way up the corporate ladder, and the farther up I went, the more I feel like I was less of myself and having to appease and do something that I wasn't aligned with who I am. Um, and so it feels nice not to kind of have to be in that environment anymore. And be quite honest with you, in the environments I work, sometimes I feel like I was the smartest person in the room, and that shouldn't be the case. Not in the rooms that I was in. Or if I wasn't the smartest person in the room, I was at least the most genuine person in the room, or the most caring person. There's a lot of times I was in those rooms and people were at a higher status and just kind of like talking down on others and things like that. So I it's just nice not to kind of be in that environment anymore. And amongst being a manager and being in an environment, I was managing 200 employees. And there's going to be times when there's people that don't agree with the way that you manage or just everything. So it's like a load off my back not being in that environment. And the people that really know me and kind of know who I am and what I'm about, I didn't have to say anything. There's like, Claude is good. You don't have to deal with this nonsense and this mess anymore. So I don't even have to open my mouth and say it. So it feels good to have that relief and that stress and that lifestyle um, put behind me. I think I developed a lot of bad habits by being in that environment, and and so really want to just kind of get back to being a good person and working on being a good Christian as well. I think that's important as well. That's important for me. Not something I would say before that was in my scope of what I felt was important, but now as I get older, really get wiser and kind of just come to a realization of a few things. Just want to kind of slow things down and kind of get back to that young boy from Michigan that just kind of kept to himself, was kind of shy and quiet, but didn't have this kind of like burning, like this fuel inside of me to kind of, and I've used this as an excuse. Like I've had this like this fire inside of me. I'm sure if you guys watch anime like Dragon Ball Z, stuff like that, I just felt like I was about to like go in Super Saiyan, and I felt like I needed that inside to kind of like push me, something to kind of like drive me every day to wake up. Like the world's against me. Everybody wants to like crap on my name. I need something to kind of push me forward. But and that's nice to be motivated, but you don't need that. That's not healthy. And by living that type of lifestyle, I've also developed this like just like this angry black guy type um, facade, and to the point where like even on the road when I was dealing cards, that's kind of like when people portrayed me as, and it was kind of like a running joke. and that's not somebody that I want to be remembered as or known as. That's really not my demeanor, to be quite honest. If y'all really want to know who I am, I'm somebody who is just real chill, and for the most part, a lot of people don't know this. I like to smoke, so a lot of times, like that's the opposite of who I am. I don't want this like fiery, kind of like revved up person like on steroids or something like that. And I know I'm being dramatic, but I just kind of have this like fire built up inside of me. If you guys watched anime Naruto, kind of having like the Nine Tails inside of me. That's really like probably the best like way to describe it. And if you guys haven't watched Naruto or you don't like anime, definitely check that out. If you don't watch anime, watch just try it. Watch that show. That show is amazing. Um, I might even watch some Naruto all over again. It's been some time. Um, but yeah, just kind of getting that out of me, and that's really what the pastor was talking about. Um, the one thing he said is just you loose lipped, and just kind of having no filter, saying whatever is on your mind. And growing up, I didn't grow up really listening to my parents like talk like sailors. Now every once in a while they probably swear and stuff like that, but saying the F word and this and that's not how they talk. So I developed that. And how did I develop that? Well, a lot of my times I spent in a casino or a poker room. And so I just developed that lifestyle. Even really, I didn't smoke or anything before. And hopefully this doesn't pull the episode from streaming. But I didn't smoke until I met some of my buddies that played poker. And I'm not saying that I wish they never introduced me to this or that. That's not the case, because I think it's what I enjoy. It's who I am now, and I'm all right with that. But there's also some bad habits that I developed that weren't who I was, and it's not the person that I strive to be or want to be known as. So just kind of like looking in and just making the necessary changes in life to be a better person, and I think by doing so, um, uh, there'll be a lot. I'm blessed. I have a lot to be thankful for. But I think by making these changes, I'll really see some improvement, and really find somebody who I can really build with, and really build the empire that I'm looking for in life. So thank y'all for watching, listening to my story. Um, I'll be here next Tuesday again, 7 p.m. Eastern, unless something silly happens. I don't have any events or anything going on, but every once in a while I've been finding these last minute events. So more than likely I should be here, so just make sure you stay tuned. Um, come on in next week. Remember, life is one big session. Play the cards you are dealt to the best of your ability, and I promise you'll come out ahead. Peace.